Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I need you to hear and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Yeah.
In for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's Pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's Pitmen make experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's Pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's Pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's Pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's Pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's Pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's Pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's Pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's Pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time. Luis Castro's pitmen make just one change from their team, the experienced Kokalava in for Bondar from the team that beat Basel 5-1 in Gelsenkirchen last time out. So again on kickoff in Dusseldorf, it's the Europa League semi-final where Inter take on Shakhtar. And for Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri, there is no changes from the team who beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-1 in Dusseldorf last time.
Right, they're ready to kick off on the banks of the Rhine. In fact, they are off to a start now, and it's Inter on the ball. Been really looking forward to this. I did have an option to do the Barcelona-Bayern Munich game, and I you know, would rather do this one. I didn't quite expect the Wills to fall off so terribly for Barca, but I do think this may not be a close contest. But what I do know about both the two teams, which I've done them both recently, is that they're both in flying form, playing brilliant football. What is not in Shakhtar's favour tonight is that actually it's a little bit cooler than it has been. So I know last week they've been playing in 30 degrees in Germany, and that's not the case tonight. It's not as warm in Dusseldorf. It's about 20 degrees. I know Inter can cope with the heat. I know where Italy is, but it's northern Italy, and it'd be fairly comfortable for both the two teams. Last week Shakhtar were brilliant. Basel looked like a Northern European team playing against Brazilian boys who played 1 and 2 touch. They were too good for them. Inter don't need the ball to score though, and I'm really fascinated to see what goes on. So far all we've seen is the Nerazzurri on the ball as Shakhtar just jockeying. Inter did struggle against Getafe, a team very similar to Shakhtar in that they keep the ball well. What Shakhtar have got there, Getafe don't, is Junior Moraes. He's a brilliant striker, 33 years of age, but he gets the goals. He knows where to be. He got a good goal last night. In fact, I think there were, if memory serves me, there were 5 different Brazilian scorers for Shakhtar last time out. Anyway, I digress. The ball just played out there. It's going to be interesting to see who copes with the big man. Whenever I watched Inter, and I've watched them in their last 2 games, it's simple. Ashley Young rolls the ball to Lukaku on his left boot, and nobody can get near him. But Big Kokalava's back tonight. I'm so excited about this. I'll start telling you what's going on. But anyway, just for the moment, the ball's gone out of play. Left-hand side, Mikola Matvienko is playing left-back tonight. And I think he's done a decent job of that. Like I said, Kokalava in. That's good news for them, because I felt that Bondar, the youngster, wouldn't have been able to cope with what's in front of him. It could well be that Serhij Kvitsov is a player who has got to deal with Lukaku if he rolls out onto that left-hand side. He's only 6'1", and although he's a good player, Kvitsov, I think he might be overmatched for the moment. It looks like Lukaku is matching himself up against the bigger man, Kokalava, and I don't really understand why he's doing that. If I was him and Lautaro, I'd be swapping. Anyway, they're playing out from the back with Bastoni. Now he's looking for a sweep in the right foot ball, but it won't reach its target, Barella. And then a little header, but there's a high boot there, and it's a chance for a referee, Simon Marciniak, the Pole, to intervene. VAR could play a part tonight, and that would be Pavel Gil. But let's hope there's not too much of that, although it's a bit of drama, isn't it? Anyway, there was a foul in the middle of the park there, just a late challenge. And the referee just ushering, I think, D'Ambrosio to him.
who for me is the weak link, or one of the weak links of the Sinter side. I don't think he's played well when I've watched him recently. They've got loads of other players. Candriva can play there, not to mention Moses, who of course Antonio Conte won a Premier League with. But anyway, Matvienko on the ball now for Shakhtar. The pitmen trying to build from the back. Little heel from Tyson, but the ball from Alan Patrick doesn't reach the intended target. Diego Godin might be busy tonight as well. I think he works well in this back three. At a certain point, I thought he was the best centre back in the world. Diego Godin, the Uruguayan, still plays well, and I think Italy's exactly the right place for him to go. Here he is over the halfway line, flicks the ball forward, but it's headed up in the air by Stepanenko, and now maybe a chance. Tyson knees it in front of him, and then he takes the challenge. That was a foul, it looked like, from Brozovic, the Croatian. The referee didn't give that, and maybe Tyson had just run out of field, flicked the ball on, and maybe he's looking to make that contact. It did look a bit like a foul. Anyway, Brozovic, good ball forward to Barella, and now D'Ambrosio is trying to get round his man, but Matvienko reads that one like a book and tries to clear his lines, but he runs back into Barella. Then he fouls him at the edge of the area. It's got to be a free kick for Inter. Into the area, the right hand side. Matvienko done some good work there, but needed to get rid of the ball, failed to do it, and in the end gives away a silly free kick. I don't think Barella was going anywhere. Edge of the area. Now it's left for Brozovic. Free kick right hand side. Not too far out. Be a bit like a short corner, but it's sort of 10 yards off touch really. Anyway, chance to dink the ball in. Brozovic does just that, and he more than dinks it. He gets too much on that, and that fires through the box to nobody in particular. So Luis Castro looks on. His team were sensational last week against Basel. As much as they looked undercooked, I don't think they could cope with the heat, and more particularly Shakhtar's keep ball. I say keep ball, and that sounds like they're all padding passes to each other, and it was boring to watch. It wasn't. It was all 1 and 2 touch. Absolutely fabulous Brazilian play, and I know it's a Ukrainian team, but really it's absolutely chock-a-block with Brazilian talent. You know, Dodo scored a goal, the right back, and he looked like he's running onto it like Carlos Alberto. I mean, unbelievable. You've got Marlos, who now has got a Ukrainian passport, the same as Junior Moraes, but they were both born in Brazil. Tyson, Alan Patrick, Marcus Antonio, Dodo, as I've mentioned, are the other Brazilian players who absolutely step up. And then when you want big units at the back, you've got Kokalava, the Georgian, and Taras Stepanenko is the man who steps back from midfield to help out. So they've got plenty of bases covered. Piatov is the skipper for Shakhtar, the goalkeeper, same as Inter, really good goalkeeper, experienced, and the captain of the team. Here comes Shakhtar down the right hand side. Alan Patrick, good ball out to the right for Marlos. Ball back in for Tyson, and he's just looking to thread it through. He got a bit too much on his side foot ball there, looking for the return ball with Alan Patrick, and Tyson having a moan. He should have been there. Well, I think it's more a case of a misplaced pass. But anyway, that's a little bit of what they do. The night looks much cooler anyway. And dry as a bone, thankfully, as well, so far. That's absolute torrents, haven't we, where we are. Long ball over the top, but that's no ball for Lautaro to chase. He's pointing to a more central ball. But even had it been central, it would have just gone straight to Andrei Piatov. It's a cagey game, this one, and not quite the start we're expecting. Of course, Shakhtar got a goal within 2 minutes of their last outing, and that certainly helped settle their nerves. It's a more nervy affair, though. Who's going to meet Sevilla in the final? I quite fancied Wolves in the tournament, but if you can't score a penalty kick, then you don't really deserve to go on, and Sevilla were too good for them. And I was listening avidly to debate about where it's all gone wrong for Man United on the way to the studio for this.
like they've got some divine right to win trophies. Well, nobody does. And it's a team who goes on and plays best when it matters. In these trapdoor football situations, that will go on. You know, yes, they're a big name, but so too are Inter, Shakhtar, are a brilliant team, and of course Sevilla, an absolute standing dish. Spanish teams, the Europa League, they'll go together like strawberries and cream. Anyway, Godin on the ball, he should know it. Plenty of experience in European football with Atletico. Finds Gagliardini. And then into midfield. We haven't seen Ashley Young on the ball yet, and they need to get him on the ball because he's a proper supply line for Lukaku. But it's won by Marcus Antonio. Got players ahead of him. Dodo goes bombing on, but he goes to Marlos, who'd come short for him. Dabs the ball back, little triangle. Tyson at Marlos, and then to Stepanenko, Matvienko. And again, it's 1 and 2 touch, isn't it, when you watch Shakhtar? Antonio, poor touch that means he's forced to go back with Brozovic with him there. Kvitsov finds Dodo, back to Kvitsov, and again playing a bit of keep ball. Dodo forced to come back. You've got Marlos on the overlap with him. He tries to find a way through Ashley Young. The ball adjudged to have come off the former Manchester United man. But anyway, ball back with Kvitsov, who goes back to Piatov. And 10 minutes in, and well, I'm enjoying it, but it's a bit more cagey as Barella picks up a poor kick, but then when he lobs that ball forward, Lautaro is saying, look, I can't have it over my shoulder, I need it into my feet. He didn't get it like that. So yeah, nervy stuff, and this game yet to catch fire. Here's Tyson, man of the match last time out. He scampers and then goes back in field. Marlos comes deep in. Tyson then back to Antonio. All the way back to Kokolava. Good ball out to Dodo, right hand side. And he then steps back. Marlos, Marcus Antonio. Shakhtar passing the ball pretty well. Tyson. It's all in the Inter half, but they're not getting anywhere. Of course, you've got that rear guard of 3. You know, one feature is that, I mean, Handanovic is a brilliant goalkeeper, brilliant, but there's a lot of shots that don't get to him because they're blocked away by that back 3. Ball goes forward, but Godin blocks it out. In Dusseldorf, in Europa League semi-final, it's really tight. Not necessarily nervy, but neither team has really landed a blow just yet. I just wonder what the tactics are. Both teams practically unchanged. Again, Shakhtar are playing 1 and 2 touch football. Inter a bit more dynamic, but as we said, nobody's had a shot on target just yet. So, well, they call that a cagey start, don't they? There'll be a twist or turn before the end of proceedings. That much you can guarantee. As again, Shakhtar play it between themselves. Kokolava to Stepanenko. He goes back to Piatov, and then to Matvienko. Antonio now on it, back to Matvienko, takes it on his chest. Thought he was fouled by D'Ambrosio. Danilo D'Ambrosio coming across and making sure that he didn't get any further. Clearly a foul. And Matvienko is still down. So there might be a little, he might need a little bit of treatment. He looks like he's up though, and he's all right. Matvienko, the left back. Tyson about to take the free kick, just waiting for the opportunity. Waiting for the word from Simon Marciniak, a Polish referee, and they do eventually play it. Stepanenko finds Dodo. Dodo back to Stepanenko, then Kokolava, then Matvienko, but they're still inside their own half. Tyson on the half turn. I thought he got caught there, but it's a good ball actually. Junior Moraes then to Marcus Antonio. Moraes tries to flick it through the legs there of Stefan de Vrij. He can't quite manage that, and the ball goes backwards. But it's still the pitmen in their change strip today. Sort of pinky grey affair, although I'm colourblind, so I wouldn't trust me with that. Anyway, Kvitsov wins the ball. Dodo back on it. And again, they're getting a foothold into the game. Nobody's beating anybody just yet. But they're doing what they do. Beginning to grab the ball just that little bit more. Anyway, here's an opportunity. First chance, Lukaku. All left foot, of course. And he just dabs that ball back. And it's been picked up by Shakhtar. Now a chance for a counter-attack as Marlos just forced to go backwards again for Alan Patrick. And then one more. Junior Moraes, Marcus Antonio, then Tyson. They all want a touch. And they're getting into the game now. Matvienko. Inter happy to sit back. Like we said, they're very dynamic. But here's Marlos now. He's got Dodo on the overlap now. He's only got Ashley Young in front of him. But, well, Alessandro Bastoni goes to help out Young and the ball goes backwards. Shakhtar in their away colours then. I thought they might be one of these teams. They've got 2 or 3 different strips, but no, it's the away kit for last season. Haven't rolled out their new kit just yet. And I'll have to take a close-up look at Inter, but their home strip for next season looks absolutely brilliant. No, they've got last season's kit on. The blue and black, as you might expect. But next year, a rather zigzaggy stripe going down the shirt. It looks good to my eye. Anyway, here's Marcus Antonio. I thought he was fouled there by Brozovic, but he gets rid of the ball, finds Marlos. He's got Dodo on the overlap, but doesn't use him. They're not spinning the ball around quite as quickly as they were last time out. Matvienko now forced to go back to Piatov, and this little game of cat and mouse continues. Well, I pinned my colours to the mast a long time ago. I said that Wolves were my favourites to go on and win it. They ran out of steam, didn't they? But it'd been a long season for them. You know, for the Champions League dropouts, sometimes a little bit easier, I guess. Anyway, Inter on the ball. D'Ambrosio has not played much of a part. They need to get Barella into it too. You know, he's got a little bit of talent about him. But the key cog really is Lukaku. Young needs to find him. He's got the ability just to roll it onto his left foot into the box. He knows exactly where he wants it. And if you've watched them recently, you know that that's a great supply line. Because to be honest, Ashley Young's not lifted a leg today. Godin now on the ball. He's over the halfway line. Stabs the ball forward. Lautaro, heavy touch from him. And another feature is that he's really been hit and miss over the last couple of games I've seen him. You know, he's no fresh-faced kid anymore. What is he now? 22, 23. And he needs just to be a bit more consistent. And he takes the ball away from Alan Patrick. But, well, Godin back on the ball. And a lot of work for Inter to do. Just over the halfway line with Bastoni. And then Godin. And he, well, chips the ball forward. But that's a shocker from him. Straight into the hands of Andrei Piatov, the skipper. And so, yeah, one of those cagey old games. The old arm wrestle. As, well, the ball given away by Shakhtar, picked up by Barella. Trying to flick it to Lautaro in the box, but he can't find him. He's marshalled there by Kvitsov, and now Shakhtar with the Dodo. Yeah, they very much a belt and braces team, Inter. Can Shakhtar just try and get them to come forward a little bit and then catch them? Well, that was a foul from Ashley Young on the Dodo. The referee has a word with him. And he was a bit naughty, a little bit late there. A knee into Dodo. And I think that's what Big Ron used to call a reducer. Anyway, ball led back by Marcus Antonio to Piatov, but he's giving the ball away. Chance here for Barella. Skips around the challenge of Matvienko. He's on the right hand side. Delivers a ball in. Good looking ball. Good looking header. That's 1-0. And that's Inter and Lautaro. He's had a quiet game so far. It doesn't matter, does it? And it's the first telling blow. Piatov gives the ball away. Barella manages to go right. And a lovely cross into Lautaro Martinez, and that's the reason Inter have two up top. And well, Lautaro with a simple header. Look at Piatov's kick again. It's a terrible kick out straight to Barella, and his cross in was an absolute beaut. Glancing header. Kvitsov is only 6'1", so Lautaro's not big, but he didn't have to be. The cross comes from the right, commanding header, that smashing header, and yep, that's it. 1-0, and a brilliant goal from Lautaro Martinez. And that maybe will be what sparks the game into life. In Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-finals, Inter have taken the first blood. And it was the captain for Shakhtar who started it all with a terrible kick out. Andrei Piatov could only find Barella, skipped past Matvienko. And then he drilled a great ball into the box for Lautaro Martinez with a fantastic, powerful header, having got the right side of Kvitsov, and that made it 1-0. I think that for me, I mean, it might kickstart the game. Shakhtar need to up the ante, really. They've been a little bit ponderous on the ball, and when they were so positive against Basel, they've kind of been tentative, really. Now they've just had the biggest jab in the ribs that you can get, and we've just seen a foul from D'Ambrosio on Kokolava. He's taken a bit of a hit as well, D'Ambrosio. But Lautaro Martinez, first goal in 4 games. He's had real mixed fortunes when I've seen him, but that's a real classy goal. But I've got to say, I don't think Kvitsov was on point, really. And clearly, the big giveaway by Andrei Piatov was the biggest help of all. Anyway, serial mistakes there for Shakhtar, but here they come now with Dodo just at the edge of the area, lays that ball back for Marlos. Got to Tyson, an easy ball on his inside. Marcus Antonio. Tyson goes on, finds Matvienko, looking for the give and go. It won't quite work out. Godin reads that like a book. He's he's still extremely good at what he does, Diego Godin. Well, I was thinking it was all about Lukaku and could they keep him quiet. And I was saying if I was Lukaku, well, physically I think you'd have the beating of Kvitsov. But so too is Lautaro Martinez, who's what, 5'9", is he? I'm going to find it out for you in a second. I don't think he's the tallest. 5'9". You don't have to be, though, do you? You get the right side of your marker. It was a perfect ball from Barella. And, simple but powerful header. And that makes it 1-0. So, take a braver man than me to work out where it's going to go. But here comes Tyson running into the box. And, eventually just about stopped in his tracks there. Last-ditch challenge coming in from Gagliardini. So many players willing to come across for them. But it's still Shakhtar, edge of the area with Marlos. Marcus Antonio shows for him, but Dodo's on the overlap. And, he tries to cross in. He's blocked away by Bastoni. Ball goes back now for Marlos. And then I thought Max Antonio went back when he should have been going forward. Just need to be a bit braver on the ball, really. And again, they go backwards to Kvitsov. And then Kokolava and Matvienko, who were forced to step back on his inside. Gets a return ball. Finds Tyson, who'd come deep. Having to work hard. Diego Godin chased him out of the defence there. But the ball now with Marcus Antonio, and then Patrick back to Antonio. His touch is heavy, but he gets it back with a committed challenge there. Now Tyson, left hand side, his all right foot, got to cut back onto that, and eventually ball back with the number 8 Marcus Antonio. Then Marlos again, being patient with their passing. Marlos, Marcus Antonio, Tyson again, left hand side. Back to the number 21, Alan Patrick. Ball for Dodo, right hand side. Young comes to meet him. And now he's looking for the give and go. But that's a poor ball from Marcus Antonio. Side foot. No check on that. And in the end, it's good defending as we see the Lautaro goal again. A super header. Glancing and not giving Piotov any kind of chance. Rose high there. Lautaro Martinez, who, his partner must be expecting the old celebration with the ball up the jumper. So we're halfway through the first half. Inter 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. And it's the Nerazzurri who have this slight advantage in what's been a bit of an arm wrestle. But I'm not sure nerves is the right thing. Maybe it is. But I just get the feeling that Shakhtar are just a little bit more tentative than they were last time out. And obviously they got the confidence of an early goal last time into such a dynamic team. But they defend so deep, so well. I think there's a lot of clean sheets for them. And then if you can get round them, then you've only got this brilliant goalkeeper to beat. I mean, I think Handanovic is in the top 10 in the world, let alone his own division, Serie A. But anyway, I digress. Here come Inter again with the Lautaro. Be feeling good about himself right now. And he rolls the ball out to Barella. D'Ambrosio on the overlap. Ball goes in. Looking for Lukaku, who just about slipped as he was about to get there. But that's sloppy from Marlos. Bastoni runs over the ball to let it roll out so that he can take a throw. I genuinely got nothing written down apart from the goal in this game. Might just take a look at the stats and see if there's anything that I'm sort of missing. Not really. According to BBC, there's been one shot, and that's the effort on target from Inter, who've had only 31% of the ball. But we knew it was going to be like this. They don't need that much of the ball. But here they have it again, left-hand side. Ashley Young finds his centre back. The ball comes across. Oh, and how has that not gone in? Honest to goodness. I mean, there's so many Inter players in the box there. It's a good cross from the left-hand side. And I think that was Bastoni's ball. And then they all got in each other's way. I don't know how Lukaku didn't score. Probably because he wasn't on his left foot. And his right's just for standing on, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, they know when to come alive, don't they? Here they are again. It's a weird thing watching them, and you're thinking, well, hang on, this team don't have that much of the ball. Can they really thrive? And you think, well, yeah. I mean, the other thing is the players that they've got on the bench. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches. So you can bring on Sanchez, Moses, Ranocchia, not to mention Ericsson, who's been coming off the bench to score. Candreva, Italian international, left, right, and centre. You know, they're very strong, and they're showing that tonight. I thought if it was in 30 degrees of heat tonight, like it had been in Central Europe, I would have fancied Shakhtar more. That being said, you know, I'm still not certain. Anyway, Barella just beaten to it. Maybe an opportunity here, but Godin slides in. He wins the ball, but maybe he was a bit too vigorous. Back in the day, that would have been a fair challenge, but not nowadays. And Patrick goes down after the fact. I think Godin's dead unlucky there. Ball. He's saying ball. I agree with him. But anyway. Here comes Shakhtar, right-hand side, Dodo. He's forced to go back to Kvitsov, then Stepanenko. They go to a back three. The full-backs bomb on. And Matvienko now picks up the ball on the left. Forced to go back to Piotov. Lukaku closes him down, but now right-footed. The ball is launched to Junior Moreira as well to hold off Gagliardini. Obviously De Vrij. We've hardly mentioned Stefan De Vrij. He's had nothing to do. Ball into the middle for Stepanenko. And then Tyson. He take 3 or 4 touches, and this is what they weren't doing the other night. It was all 1 and 2 touch football, and they were scintillating. They were like watching the Harlem Globetrotters, you know what I mean? They were great. Anyway, here they come with the Marlos now. He cuts in onto his left foot, finds Tyson, and Barella gets a foot in. Tyson wins it back though at the edge of the area. Eventually the ball hammered away by D'Ambrosio. Kivitsov heads away from Lukaku. Shakhtar can go again. Great looking ball to find the Dodo. Into the box he goes. Cuts back. Can he get a shot away? Junior Moraes comes across. But in the end, Bastoni has dealt with that, and they're asking for a corner. Good play. Brilliant ball. Matvienko to Dodo. And he does what he does there. Junior Moraes gets the right side to flick the ball. But it's good defending as well by Bastoni. And the shot blocked at the expense of a corner. So a real opportunity, but not if you're delivering a ball like that. Brozovic near post. Just able to thump that one away. So yeah, that was a bit more like it. So the game beginning to pick up steam. So maybe Inter should be 2-0. That ball came in from the left, and between Lukaku and Lautaro and however many other Inter players were in there, they somehow didn't go in. But they won't go through again without Shakhtar getting close to their goal. Just too good. Anyway, long ball down the line. It's a poor ball. Junior Moraes not going to get there, and Godin giving him a few yards start there. But eventually the lines are cleared. And Brozovic now on the ball. And then Godin. And then Barella. Tight to touchline this right hand side. Only halfway. Godin back on it. He flicks it forward. Lukaku trying to get the run on Kokalava. Kokalava's strong, really strong. Strong enough to hold him off. And then Stepanenko. Good ball. But, well, Marlos' little ball is picked off there by Gagliardini. And in to have it back with Brozovic. Looking for targets around him now. Barella more central located, but he's able to step away from the challenge of Marcus Antonio. And then Godin over the halfway line. He's the right-hand side of the 3 centre-backs tonight. The ball still with Inter, and D'Ambrosio just happy to lay it back to Brozovic. Well, they haven't really found Lukaku tonight, but they're not needed to. They found Lautaro for their 1 goal. Gagliardini, Bastoni, then Godin. He's just over the halfway line still. Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. And we'll have a little bit of an update the next time the ball goes out, if indeed it does. No sign of that at the minute. Shakhtar just inside their own half, and Inter happy passing it around. But the ball dabbed forward here for D'Ambrosio. That's overhit, and so we'll have that update. In Dusseldorf, it's still 1-0 to Inter, who've been the better of the 2 teams. Shakhtar have seen more of the ball and have had their best chance. Matvienko found Junior Moraes with a brilliant ball, and his shot was blocked by Bastoni. Inter maybe should have had 2 though. A great cross from the left-hand side from Bastoni. It was in the box, and between Lukaku and Lautaro, I don't know how they didn't manage to hit it into the back of the net. But it's still 1-0. Foul there on Junior Moraes, who goes down holding his temple. Yeah, I didn't quite see how that happened, but it was Stefan de Vrij. If indeed there was a guilty party. But I didn't necessarily see that as a foul, necessarily. I think maybe VAR taking a look to see if there was any foul play, but that would be Pavel Gil. But anyway, nothing comes of that. Shakhtar have the ball back. Ball out to Matvienko, he's overhit. And again, they've been a little bit sloppy on the ball today. Not their trademark.
So we've had chances for both teams now, but again, you know, it's significant that the one chance for Shakhtar, and it was a shot that was blocked, so keeper didn't have to make a save as Barella shoots and Piatov makes a save. Again, Nicolo Barella proved to be a live wire. Lovely right foot drive. And Piatov had to tip it over. So it's a corner kick for Inter. 34 minutes gone, Inter 1, Shakhtar 0, but the more dynamic team are the Italians, the Nerazzurri. As they put the ball into the box again, but that's headed away. Can Shakhtar get hold of it? Shakhtar look positively weak tonight. Another one of my many thoughts about the game is, I know it's a week to turn it around. I'm thinking, you know, there's enough time for even the older legs of Junior Murray's 33 and Marlos 32 to recover. But these are big games, aren't they? You know, Inter don't chase the ball that much. Their system allows them to expend less energy, I feel, and but they stretch teams because they have this front two. So, you know, it's never a case of, oh, we're three at the back, but we're only one up top, and that fella gets isolated. They don't mind playing long ball, and that's always an out ball, isn't it? So, you know, even if Lautaro or Lukaku can't quite get it, it means the opposition have to keep players back, and so it's almost like they set the agenda. You know, they're stretching the game out, but I wouldn't say that their team works necessarily that hard. Tyson now finds Marlos, and he and Shakhtar get going, edge of the area. Ball laid off to Marcus Antonio, back to Tyson. Chips the ball into the box, looking for Junior Moraes. His header goes wide. Not a bad ball, but he was meeting the sandwich there. Not bad at all. But you get the feeling that Inter and their back three have got a lot of this covered. But yeah, they're having to work hard here. I think he's a great striker, Junior Moraes. I really do. When you watch him, you see that quality. He gets goal side of players all the time. You know, it's a canny knack that he's got. And although he was well shepherded there, he's still got his header, albeit off target. So yeah, just little bits and pieces of chances. Piatov comes out. He clears his lines. So this is real pressure cooker football, trapdoor football. The chance to meet Sevilla in the final, and you know, it's something very much to look forward to. And that would be Friday, the 21st of August, the final. So yeah, it's a pretty quick turnaround, isn't it? You don't really have time to rest on your laurels, think about it too much. Sevilla have had 1 day extra in their preparations, haven't they? Like we said, Inter don't skin themselves, and they've got a very strong bench. I mean, they're unchanged from the team beat by Leverkusen in Dusseldorf. But like I said, they made lots of changes at the back end of that. Players like Eriksson came on, Sanchez came on. I think Moses came on as well in that. He was Ashley Young, and he looking to spring Lautaro. Oh, he's an inch away. He's an inch away. But now Shakhtar have a chance to counter-attack, and here they come. A little bit of pace now with Tyson. Looking for targets, but he steps back, and that just allows Inter to get back in their shape. So Tyson on the ball. And lays it off. Ball goes to the right for Marlos. And then for Dodo. Marlos again. But
But they plodded a bit tonight, though, of Shakhtar. Whereas they were on their toes last time out against Basel. Maybe it's just that Basel was so flat-footed. They're really struggling to make ground. There's a foul surely here by, I think it's Bastoni. Referee spots that. Bastoni had come deep on Marlos and just wouldn't let him turn. So now Kvitsov playing it out from the back. Matvienko left hand side, and Tyson, it's a lovely turn from him, flicks it forward, but there's numbers there and he couldn't make ground. Brozovic made sure of that. Ball hooped up in the air by Matvienko. Lautaro looking for it but didn't get there. Stepanenko steps across and deals with it. It's still into 1, Shakhtar 0, 40 minutes gone. Not the game I was hoping for really, but it is tight and it is what it is. I think that, you know, suits Antonio Conte and his team a little bit more. You know, they've had plenty of clean sheets recently. You know, the one goal they let against it by Leverkusen is the first in a number of games, isn't it? Beat Genoa 3-0, Napoli 2-0, Atalanta, free scoring Atalanta 2-0. Then Getafe were unlucky in that game, 2-0 though that, before that one goal. Leverkusen as De Vrij gets away from Moraes. And then Handanovic straight back to the Dutchman. Plenty of opportunity to clear his lines. Ball down the field looking for Lukaku, didn't find him. Marlos, little flick, maybe a chance, but well, sliding challenge from Barella means that Alan Patrick can't get hold of the ball. Brozovic just tidily back to Godin. Into 1, Shakhtar 0 in Dusseldorf. And it's tight, but Inter looking good. Very pragmatic, but they've given the ball away there with Barella. Very unlike him. Shakhtar trying to make some ground, but now Inter work double hard to win it back. The ball eventually with Marcus Antonio. And back to Matvienko, but again it's slow. 3, 4, 5 touches there from the number 8. It was all about 1 and 2 touches last time. Kvitsov forward, and then Marlos. Dodo on the overlap of him. He goes back inside to his number 8, Marcus Antonio. Well, Luis Castro will be wondering why the pitmen are taking so many touches. And Matvienko's touch lets him down. D'Ambrosio closes him down. Kokolava looking to spring. Dodo out that right hand side. The ball too long though. Young watches that over his shoulder and he deals with it. So Lautaro Martinez, the key cog this time around with the long goal that separates the two teams. Not written an awful lot down, like I said, not much between them. And although Shakhtar have had 64% possession, yet to get a shot on target. We've seen a couple of shots, one from Barella, tipped over by Piatov, but the other brilliant powerful glancing header that beat Andrei Piatov all ends up came from Lautaro, all 5'9" of him. But here comes Marlos, Marcus Antonio, Alan Patrick, Marcus Antonio, Tyson. A little bit better. Marlos, he's got a chance to overlap Dodo now. He's into the box. Marlos lays it back. Maybe a chance for a strike. Don't take too much time again. Kvitsov comes to help out. Marlos again has got Dodo on the overlap, but they're static at the minute. Flicks the ball across. Tyson controls it, but there's just a sea of blue and black in front of him and the goal. So can they get something going? Again with Marcus Antonio, again Marlos, they keep the ball ever so well. Marcus Antonio again, shoots! Oh, he's not too far over. A nice strike. But again, it's not anything that troubles the keeper. Very patient, and they all did step away. Did he have a chance to, get a fierce strike in? But he couldn't get it on target, and so it remains the fact that they're yet to trouble Sami Handanovic's goal. The Slovenian has had a quiet game. So, Handanovic on the ball, but nobody wants to close him down. Junior Murray's going to have to do that. Eventually, right-footed, clears his lines. Stepanenko has it back where it came from, but the ball won again in the midfield by D'Ambrosio. Then Barella finds Lukaku. His little layoff's not very good. And then now a chance. Tyson running forward, runs past De Brozovic. Junior Murray couldn't find any ground there, but Marcus Antonio can. Marlos now steps back. Marcus Antonio again. He's got Alan Patrick, who plays it out to Matvienko on the left-hand side. Gets it out with his feet. Marcus Antonio again. Tyson, right-hand side. They've got an overlap again. Dodo. Lukaku now back helping out his defences. Marlos looking for Tyson. He knew he was under pressure by Lautaro. He gets that ball away. Matvienko stopped in his tracks there. Another foul by D'Ambrosio. And then a foul by Brozovic on Tyson. I want to take it quickly, but Brozovic steps up, won't allow him to do that. Referee has to intervene. Shakhtar need to get moving, and they've been wading through treacle tonight. Need just to pick up the pace and be a bit braver on the ball. They're looking for Junior Murray. They don't find him this time. The ball back to Bastoni. His out ball's not very good though. Stepanenko now can find Tyson. Controls it left onto his right. He looks up. He's looking and found Marlos yet again. Dodo is on the overlap of him on the right hand side, but he cuts in. Then he finds Dodo. Junior Murray's looking to overlap him, but the ball spins back on the inside as it's done too often tonight. You know, rolling one way and then the other. Matvienko to Antonio. Steps round 1, 2, 3 challenge. Then a good sliding challenge comes in. I thought the challenge was a little bit from behind. Can Lukaku hold it up, but the ball's played behind him and he's mad because they've hardly passed it to him tonight. And again, here comes Shakhtar, the pitmen. What they got, Tyson on the ball centrally now into a minute of added time. Marlos, can they get a shot away here, Shakhtar? Can they get a shot on target in the first half? Doesn't look like they will. Marlos holds on to the ball, but too long. The referee wants that ball back because it's half time. So it's Inter who have that slender advantage. Shakhtar, well, they played all right. Had plenty of possession, but they've not exactly been dynamic. It's half time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. It's half time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. It's half time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. It's half time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. It's half time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov who gave the ball away in the first place.
But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella. Got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. It's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andre Piatto who gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of Lautaro Martinez to glance his header home firmly for 1-0. Half-time in Dusseldorf in the Europa League semi-final. It's Inter 1, Shakhtar 0. A scoreline that the Nerazzurri absolutely deserve. He's got a good goal on the 19 minutes. It was Andrei Piatov gave the ball away in the first place. But still good work from Nicola Barella, got to the byline, put a great cross in, and there was all 5'9" of...
Enough of that. They've kicked off for the second half. A couple of seconds in, Luis Castro had a job to do there, get the pitmen back up. I don't understand why they've been so tentative, but as a collective, as a unit, they just haven't got it going today. Not one shot on target for them in that first half, and they need to do better. And Inter are great at being Inter. They've been rock solid at the back, and then when they've gone forward, they've created coherent and good chances. All this without finding their key striker, Romelu Lukaku, who we've got a little bit frustrated because they can't find a decent ball for him. Here is Tyson, and you can be certain that Shakhtar are disappointed with themselves in that half. We can expect a bit of a turnaround, I think. And already, I mean, you can visibly see that. But, you know, a flea in the ear, they probably got half time. Whether all that lasts longer than 10 or 15 minutes, they revert to type, well, we'll have to wait and see. It's not about the effort, is it? It's more the fact that where's the confidence to 1 and 2 touch and to keep going and to play the ball forward. It seemed they were happy to go backwards and sideways this time around. Sometimes you've got to be patient, don't you, as they are now with Kvitsov going back to Piatov. But there's a time for that, and a time for a bit more daring do. You've got to give credit then to Inter for stopping them in their tracks and, you know, keeping at them and making sure that 1 and 2 touch is not possible.
Junior Mirays just closes down Handanovic. He goes back to Brozovic, and then he's playing out. It's all getting a little bit tight for them. Bastoni, his clearance was terrible then. He cleared onto his own man Gagliardini. Now the ball aimed at Lukaku, who was trying to roll, but this time can't roll his way past Kokolava, who knows too much for him. He fouled Kokolava, I think, there, the Georgian. Well, we're looking here. That clearance, Bastoni onto Gagliardini. I mean, it hit him on the hand. I mean, it's handball in the box, that, but you couldn't give that as a penalty null conscience, could you? So thankfully they've just overlooked that. Luis Castro did call for that, but you know what it is. It's a final, isn't it? No one would probably remember that so much as whoever lifted the trophy, would they? But anyway, Matvienko trying to make ground, but he's hustled and harried out of it. D'Ambrosio eventually will clear his lines. Lukaku tries to get the flick onto Lautaro. Lautaro beats his first man, looks for the lob, nearly lobbed Piatov there, and he scrapes that one away. Shakhtar, I think there's a foul in that. I'm not sure about that. I thought Lukaku was just strong. And there, well, Lautaro, he an opportunity to lob the keeper, and he might have done a little bit better there. But do you know what? I mean, it's a good effort, that. And I don't know what Piatov's moaning about. But he did all right there. Piatov just about got back and clawed it out for a corner. But they're dangerous, aren't they, Inter? They've got a chance here from this corner kick. Brozovic with it. Good delivery in. And that's a good header away by Kvitsov ahead of Lukaku. But another shot comes in from inside the area. And it's Lautaro again. He's having a good game. His shot was straight at the keeper, though. And again, I think they grab another goal. And tonight, in this game, they've got it done and dusted. But yeah, for the moment then, Tyson back on the ball. Shakhtar have got good players, nice and tight. It's all right playing a bit of keep ball, bit of what do they call it, tiki-taka or whatever it is, all that. I mean, that's fantastic if you've got Xavi Hernandez and Andres Iniesta, but not every team has, and not even Barcelona do anymore, do they? So yeah, it's one thing having good skill, but can they convert that into chances? Tyson has a strike and he hits that well wide. So clearly they've talked about taking their opportunities and having a go, but that shot was well wide. And again, for me, Inter have been more impressive. You know, it's like the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object, isn't it? I wondered which way this was going to go tonight. I wondered if Inter would get enough ball to play well. They've not needed it. Very dynamic. That's a decent ball then for Young. He finds Lukaku. He rolls into the box. He's too strong there, and he gets a right-footed shot away. But that's his swinger. But Young's looking for him all the time. Unfortunately, he couldn't roll onto his left. You know, I think fair enough. Kokolava shows him onto his right, and yeah, his shot is well wide in the end. Piatov now finds Matvienko, a right-footed, chips it quite a long way, and Bastoni just sees off Tyson, drops a shoulder. Ball for Brozovic, and then Gagliardini finds D'Ambrosio, and then Lukaku spins it round the corner. D'Ambrosio's continued his run, plays it off Matvienko, and they've got a throw-in. 52 minutes gone into one, Shakhtar 0. And I said if Inter grab a second, I think they've killed this game off. They're not there yet, but they're still creating meaningful chances. I think they look certainly a very balanced outfit. Brozovic now with the halfway line. The ball chipped too firmly, giving no chance for Ashley Young. In Dusseldorf, he's still into one, Shakhtar 0. And we can see that Shakhtar have gone out with a bit of flea in their ear from their manager. Luis Castro went really at the races the first half. It's enticing, a shot that went well over. It's still, for me, Inter looked the better of the two teams. Lautaro tried to lob Piatov. He clawed the ball out from the resulting corner. Again, Lautaro Martinez had a shot, this time straight at the keeper. We see Lukaku with a right foot shot that went just wide. Inter on top. They've been the better team. Ashley Young now trying to cut the ball back just to the edge of the box, but he can't find Gagliardini, and Gagliardini is adjudged to have fouled his man. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of that. So proving very difficult to deal with right now. And, Inter are very strong, and I would say that they're on top in this game. You know, we can see what Shakhtar want to do, what they've talked about doing. There's Godin holding his head there, and I don't know what's happened, but Junior Moraes looks like he's the guilty party. And well, the Inter boys having a word, and referee coming across for Junior Moraes, but I'm sure nowadays that, you know, as Brozovic goes over, no point hounding the referee. Presumably, you know, if there's a case to answer, then Pavel Gil, the VAR referee, will look. There's not much there. Junior Moraes is trying to hold off Godin. His arm comes out, and it's the faintest of all glancing blows. And of course, Godin goes down as if he's been shot. And that, for me, that's great refereeing. All right, yeah, there's something there, but it's not enough for a card or anything like that. And yeah, nowadays with the VAR, you don't really get away with the amateur theatrics, do you? That ain't stereotyping, but that was a little bit Uruguayan, wasn't it, from Godin? And every right to, because he is. But I think there's a bit of a win at all costs, isn't there, in the mentality there. 1-0 up though. They probably think they haven't got the game sorted out as, well, maybe a chance now. Marlos and then Tyson. Tyson pulled more strings last time out, but they needed one goal to get back in, and then maybe the tie will change. Moraes trying to lay that ball back, but well read by the Croatian Brozovic. And he goes back to Handanovic and then Godin. And he boots the ball away with Alan Patrick closing him down. Shakhtar have it back, and not for long. Marlos had come across. He's not having the influence tonight, Marlos. Again, a great old schemer. I don't. They've got some half-decent players on the bench, but again, not that many. I mean, Conor Plianka would be the man you'd be thinking about. He had been injured, which is why he's not playing. But I think if he is fit, they'll be certainly thinking about him. Long ball here for Inter, and D'Ambrosio gets on the end of a smashing ball. Barella now drives into the area. Little cutback looking for Lautaro Martinez. He can't find him. And then Tyson heads away. The ball now with Alan Patrick. And then Marcus Antonio. But he runs into D'Ambrosio running back. And Inter just seem to have too many guns for them at the minute. Just try to see who else can Shakhtar bring on. Well, they do have Mano Solomon, the Israeli, who came on for Marlos last time, and he played all right. But that's kind of then you resorting to Plan B. Long ball for Inter this time. Nowhere near Barella, who was the furthest forward. And the ball with Marcus Antonio, then Tyson. Everyone wants to take the ball up, but it's all this 4 or 5 touches there, Tyson, and they can't do it by themselves. They're good Brazilian players, these, who are all guilty of doing the same thing. Oh, we want to get on the ball, and then you see them dilly and dally rather than keep the position and let the ball come to them. It's very frustrating watching them tonight because they were so much better, but then Inter have got a decent work rate. They know exactly when to press the ball and when to leave it alone. D'Ambrosio there closes down Matvienko. So his out ball then can only find Godin. Lukaku beaten to by Stepanenko, but then Brozovic wins it back. Not for long. Matvienko now has it. And he slants it inside to Alan Patrick. Now Marlos over the halfway line. They've got bodies forward, but 3, 4, 5 touches again. Oh dear. Tyson, 4, 5 touches. And it's not good enough there. And Marlos, the ball to him was poor, and Inter come away with it again. You know, they're going to be tired out here, as eventually Tyson chasing back fouls his man. They're having a frustrating night. And now Tyson is going to go in the book. But they're all guilty of the same mistake, really. Anyway, Bastoni it was, who was caught late. And, such an obvious free kick. And Tyson there just gives him a handshake. As Young now tries to beat Dodo, but has to manhandle him to get past him. His first trick was good, but then he went back for more. Young tried to cut back past him. Well, we're going to see one of those changes anyway. Looks like Alan Patrick has done his race. He's not played that well tonight, but he's certainly not by himself. And the man I just talked about, Solomon, has come on. So Manor Solomon. I think that will mean that Marlos will move on the inside of him. And he's been coming inside too much anyway, Marlos, rather than holding his shape out on the right. I think the way to beat them is try and get behind them. I think it's difficult with 3 centre-backs, but a chance to get round Bastoni. Maybe you fancy Manor Solomon to get round him more. Anyhow, they've got to get the ball first, and Godin, good ball to find Lautaro, and he holds on to it well, finds Ashley Young, left-hand side, driving forward now is Ashley Young, ball at his feet, into the box he goes, asking too much of himself. He cuts the ball back. Lukaku thought he'd just gone there, and he's very guilty of ball watching. And then the ball from Dodo played off the Interman, and that will be a throw-in for Shakhtar. Ball with the Marcus Antonio, and first touch for Manor Solomon, who actually seems to be playing in central midfield at the minute rather than going wide. So they've got nobody going wide, and they keep running into trouble in the middle of the park. No point taking them on down the middle. They're too strong, I think. You know, you've got that 3, and then you've got Brozovic in front of them, Gagliardini. You know, they're well blessed with players who are happy to defend. Long ball forward, and Lautaro gives it a bit of a chase, and under no real pressure there, Kokalava just says, well, I had to deal with it, and he just thumps it out. So we're closing in on the hour mark. In fact, we've reached it into 1, Shakhtar 0. And into the better team. It's as simple as that tonight. And I don't know where Shakhtar have gone, but they're not playing like they played the quarter-final. As the ball just flicked away there. Barella, I think, was trying to scrape it off one of the Shakhtar defenders. It didn't work out. It's gone straight out for a goal kick, which Piatov takes. Finds Kvitsov. He launches a long ball. Well, Murray's he's up against 3 there. And he's not really, I mean, he's a decent header of the ball, but he's not really a target man. As now Ashley Young picks it up. Looking for Lautaro, who tries a clever heel. Beats himself, really. Kvitsov's out ball is not a good one. In fact, it was Kokalava. So it's still that goal from Lautaro Martinez that separates the 2. If I was Luis Castro, I'd be concerned. The message I would have been getting out to him is, you know, confidence. You're a good team. Play like you can do. Barella, terrible ball from him. And Matvienko now on his bike. Chance here for Shakhtar. Can they get bodies forward soon enough? It's no good keep going backwards and cutting inside. Oh, dearie me. Tyson again, 6 or 7 touches. by the time that it works out, Dodo's on the ball, and virtually every Inter man who needs to be is back behind it. Tyson back on the ball. They're certainly not zipping it about tonight. There's a great ball into the box though. A chance for Junior Moraes. Oh, he got his header in there. How he keeps doing that. Well, that's a wake-up call for Inter, really. They're so comfortable there. I talked about that. They've got 3 to mark 1, but that one still manages to get in their goal side of Bastoni. And in the end, he just couldn't quite get their header right. Oh, dearie me, that was a lovely ball in. And that just shows, doesn't it, what good players can do. But, well, Junior Moraes has had their first effort on target. But they need a little bit more than that, don't they, as the ball goes all the way back to Piatov, who boots it out. Ashley Young comes back to play the ball back to Bastoni, back to Young. Well, it's not over, is it? At 1-0. Just got to keep your eye on the prize. And here now comes D'Ambrosio for Inter, nearly at the byline. The ball comes off the chest of Matvienko, and that is going to be a corner kick. So, yeah, maybe the game just warming up a bit. I've almost counted them out, but really, you know, in a 1-goal game, you're never out of it, are you? And Shakhtar just need to hang on in there. Got a corner kick now, do Inter. I still believe that they will grab a second. Get Moraes' header again. I mean, he sent it back where it came from almost and down into the ground, but that takes the sting out of it. That's their first effort on target anyway. The corner kick comes in, and there's number 2 for Inter, D'Ambrosio, with the steepling header at the far post. So goal number 2, and that might be a killer. And well, Danilo D'Ambrosio rising high and heading it into a big gap back across to the cross. The corner come from the right. Let's take another look, and he does really well. Great header, and Piatov dives to his left. But yeah, beat Matvienko. And yeah, it's a good header from him. I'm not his biggest fan. I don't think he's been playing that well. But yeah, that's good stuff. And that's why he's in the team. Why Conte trusts him clearly. Got a few more strands to his bow. In Dusseldorf, it's Inter 2, Shakhtar 0, and that might well be it. You know, we've just seen a good chance for Shakhtar, actually. They're first on target as Matvienko put a good cross in from the left-hand side, and Junior Moraes got a header on target. But Inter went straight down the other end. They've been the more dynamic of the two teams, and we saw a decent corner kick. But then Danilo D'Ambrosio rising high, beat Matvienko and then beat Piatov with his header for 2-0. So, yeah, 2-0. It's a long way back for Shakhtar. About to make a change at Inter as well. And it's Young who's going to come off. He's not had much of a game tonight, really. They don't need a supply line now for Lukaku, as Biragi comes on. So we'll have more of that in a second. I'll tell you a bit more about Biragi. But anyway, yeah, such a long way back now. Inter have got a stranglehold on the game, and you know, they've been the better team tonight, and they've really demonstrated that. And it's a good header from D'Ambrosio as well. And you just felt that they've been dominant in so many departments tonight. Anyway, take another look at it. It's a good corner from Brozovic, but it's a much better header. Yeah, good stuff that. And I'm sure Antonio Conte is pretty pleased. I know it's not on paper. I've looked at Sevilla's team and I've thought, yeah, surely they're there to be beaten. I would suspect, again, if it's one of those, it's 30 degrees of heat, then maybe Sevilla would have a chance. I mean, they're so used to playing in stifling heat. Here come Inter again. The ball into the box and eventually a shot wide, but there was a foul just before that. And well, they're having a bit of a moan at the referee. Cristiano Biraghi is the man who's come on. He's only a loanee from Fiorentina. Take the place of Ashley Young, who didn't have much of a game really, but generally speaking, he's a supply line to Lukaku, and the two link up pretty well. Lukaku's been quiet tonight, probably because he's been marked by somebody who's good, David Kokalava. And you're not always going to beat up your centre back, are you? But he engages one, and it's left Lautaro to be the live wire, who's either been marked by Kvitsov or not, and has got away from him once. That wants to be enough for the first goal. Credit to D'Ambrosio for beating Matvienko in the challenge for the second goal. It's like 50-50, but they say that quite tritely, don't they? Wanted it more, but he won his battle. That's all I can say about that. Free kick given, and referee is just saying, well, Malus was brought down. Gagliardini getting a talking to. Yeah, this game looks a long way away now for Shakhtar, doesn't it? They're coming in. I thought they had a right good chance. I wouldn't have liked to say who I thought was going to win it before, and I certainly thought it'd be stupid to put my head on the chopping block saying where I think the ball, I think the game was going. I had no idea, but as the game's unravelled, the truth is that Shakhtar have not played their game, and Inter certainly have played theirs. Sometimes I think the game can be complicated, and sometimes we look for that, technically and tactically. But here, Conte's three at the back, three really good defenders, and they've got players in front of them who won't, they don't just leave them to their own devices. They defend deep and in numbers. The others work hard, like Barella, and then you've got two up top, which means that the opposition just can't sit back. They can't throw that many numbers forward. Their team are going to have to stretch out. It's working the opposition midfielders hard, and if your guys can run that marathon, then you're at the races. But yeah, I mean, it's very impressive. I've got to say that. I know they're second in Serie A. It would be a good team that beats him. And yeah, we know all about Conte, don't we? I thought when he won the Premier League with Chelsea, I looked at that Chelsea team before he went there, and I thought there'd be no chance they'd even mount a challenge that season. I just thought, well, there's 3 or 4 gaps, and then he just comes barnstorming with his back three and wing backs, and who knew? And who knew Moses was going to play like that? Ridiculous, really. Moses on the bench today, and just his backup really on that right hand side, although he did come off the bench last time. But Inter 2, Shakhtar 0, and yeah, Shakhtar just not got going all night really, and impossible to say what got into, what was it, why collectively the failure. Maybe Inter feel more at home. They played Dusseldorf last time. Does that give them any kind of advantage? I mean, they're on a field They're both used to playing on a field of grass, aren't they? Here's Lukaku, left foot, strike. Oh, it's straight at the keeper. More or less there. Good link up between Lautaro and Lukaku. Lula couldn't quite get it done there, but got him on his left foot, and he expected him to score. He couldn't quite manage it. Nice to see them combining, and nice to see him getting it away on his left foot to Romelu Lukaku. Brilliant defending by Godin under pressure there from Manus Solomon. But again, I mean, it's not all Inter, because still Shakhtar in possession. They've seen more of the ball. But if you want efforts on target, then it's all Inter. They've had 9 now and 6 on target, I think. Anyway, Bastoni now, long ball, not bad. Biraghi running onto it, held up by Dodo, but he must have been offside. Flag has gone up over on that far side. Yeah, and he quite clearly went too soon. And Cristiano Biraghi. So Inter 2, Shakhtar 0. Just looking at, look, he's scuffed his strike really on that left foot. Oh, and well, that really would have been it. Sometimes 2-0, they say, can be a dangerous scoreline. Conte can't believe, nearly crying because he didn't score there. But you so trust him, don't you? So Brozovic beaten to it, maybe a chance here, and Lautaro. Oh, and he's made it 3. Right foot, took the strike on early, beautiful that, and Lautaro's having quite some game. And this is really impressive now. Second goal of the game, Lautaro Martinez. I don't think he played that well in the last 2 games I've seen him, but he's played really well tonight. And he took it on really early, that right foot strike. And it's all up for Luis Castro's team. But there we go. They've just been undone, haven't they? And Inter have absolutely dominated them. In Dusseldorf, it's now 3-0 to Inter. And they'll be at the final on Friday against Sevilla. And in this kind of form, they'll be hard to stop. But, well, we've just seen Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez combine. And again, we've seen Lautaro for his second goal of the game, just at the edge of the area. Lovely right foot strike. He took it on that early, didn't allow Andrei Piatov to set himself, thumped it right into the side netting. So it's 3-0, game, set and match. Konoplyanka's coming on. Too little too late, really. Good player, but really, what are you going to do? Score 4 goals now? Yeah, the game's gone, hasn't it? And really, I don't think that whatever Luis Castro said at half-time could have been that effective. You could see that they come out and then they're running harder, but then they're still taking 4 or 5 touches. You think, well, did you impress on them that they're not moving the ball quickly enough? It's not about the men moving quickly enough, but every single one of them is trying to do too much tonight. And, well, that's just a shame, isn't it? But Inter's strategy, faultless. There's been a lot of criticism, hasn't there? The 2 Manchester clubs, and particularly Guardiola, thinking himself into a cocked hat and, tactically we need to do this. Well, why not just play to your strengths? Do what you do that beats every other team. And essentially, they're Inter are playing like Inter tonight. I mean, Shakhtar haven't changed their formation, but the style of play, whether that's unwitting or not, is absolutely changed from last time out. A 2-touch team to a 5-touch team ain't going to work out, is it? Anyway, I don't keep saying that, but it's so obvious, and yet their coach looking on. But how can you get that message across? I mean, I don't know. But Shakhtar will be wondering what happened to them tonight. and how they had gone from being so good to so deadly average in the space of just a week. Dodo steps on the ball. Oh, I think Bastoni's a little bit unlucky there. But anyway, the Inter players don't seem to mind too much at 3-0. Dodo goes down. His wrist there, right wrist. Into 3, Shakhtar 0, and there'll be no added time. I think Bastoni, I mean, Dodo slips on the ball, and then I'm not sure whether there was any contact with Bastoni's arm, but I just think it's more because he slipped and went down. Pitch looks quite heavy, like there's been a lot of rain on it, as Lukaku tries to beat David Kokolava, he's played pretty well tonight. I don't know who Sevilla have got. I mean, traditionally, I think you don't get massive Spanish centre-backs, do you, unless they're from north of Spain. Here's Lautaro, and he finds Lukaku, and Lukaku makes it 4. Wow, they're unstoppable tonight. They are unstoppable. And again, the strikers looking for each other, and Lautaro found Lukaku, and this time his left foot drive was better. And that's number 4. And well, the game was long done and dusted before this 4th goal. But Conte will be pleased, and Luis Castro looks absolutely haunted. In Dusseldorf, I just looked across at the haunted face of Luis Castro. Shakhtar couldn't have played much worse tonight. Lautaro Martinez just played in Romelu Lukaku, who controlled it with his right, got it onto his left and smashed it into the back of the net. Past the despairing Andrei Piatov. The game plan hasn't worked tonight. They never got going, Shakhtar. What was 1 and 2 touch against Basel has been 4 and 5 tonight, and it's just allowed Inter to dominate them. Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the game, because it's not the game that I was hoping to see, really. But ever so impressed by Inter, and I bet there are very few out there who are thinking correct score 4-0, even those who thought the Inter might just batter them. And the other thing that's weird about all that is how often, when you think these games could be tight, they end up not being. You know, we saw that from Barcelona, didn't we? How almost brittle good teams can be. You know, I remember doing that Brazil-Germany game, and it still makes me laugh thinking about that. But it's just bizarre. You watch them, it's like a car crash, isn't it? But when teams go off, they go off. Shakhtar have found no way to get it into, and they're just not able to do anything about it. And it's just, and that must be demoralising. If you're a good team, you think, well, hang on, this usually works. Eriksson and Moses are going to come on now. So, yeah, D'Ambrosio score a goal, and he'll be happy coming off. And I suspect they'll be playing in the final then. I don't think there'll be any changes made for Inter, because clearly it works. Eriksson's the other one about to come on, probably for Barella, is it? I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll wait. Yeah, no, it's Lautaro who goes off. And he's certainly played his part tonight. Well, Eriksson likes to get in amongst it. This guy won't be resting on his laurels, because he wants to get in the team as well. So don't think Eriksson's out there to make the numbers up. I mean, for me, he's looked good when he's come on as a sub. In this team, though, you can't exactly bang down the manager's door. Romelu Lukaku, 5 goals in 5 games. Martinez now about 2 in 5. He's gone quiet, but found a good time to refine his form, didn't he? And D'Ambrosio's come up with 1. And yeah, very impressive. And I think they'd have to be favourites, wouldn't they, now? But Sevilla had 1 day more And that counts for a lot this back end of the season. I know there's been that big sort of break for lockdown, but I'm sure that the players had to keep on top of it, really. Couldn't let themselves go to seed. Anyway, NTER 4, Shakhtar 0 as Godin heads away. I think Shakhtar will be upset tonight because they've not done not done themselves justice at all. Biragi now playing the ball out, looking for a ball down the line. Flick back on the inside, maybe a chance here for Marcus Antonio to make ground. And he'll be keen to keep a clean sheet if they can. The Shakhtar are back on the ball. Dodo, when he drags a strike, it's not really worthy of the name. Cleared away by Godin. The ball goes all the way back. And Dodo can let that one roll out. There won't be no added time tonight. So Friday, I think it's gone 10 games in a row now in the Europa League. Just the kind of player you want. Ever so impressive tonight, isn't it? Just about losing my voice. There's Lukaku now. Gets a run on Kokolava. Too strong for him. Oh, he only goes and scores again. This is getting embarrassing now. He's hot. He's red hot. And he's Romelu Lukaku. Well, wow, 5-0. Kokolava had played well, but the heart's out of this Shakhtar team. And he was just too quick then for Kokolava. You forget that he's pretty quick. This is not the way to lose, is it? Your semi-final. Luis Castro, had a horrible look on his face there. It's 5-0 now in Dusseldorf. It's more than a little bit embarrassing. Lukaku then beaten Kokolava, got his head down, out sprinted him into the box, and this time he scored with his right foot. And for those stats fans out there, he scored in 10 successive Europa League games, Romelu Lukaku, and he looks different gravy in this Inter team. They'll now be looking forward to that final on Friday. Wow. Wow, we were. This is just something else, isn't it? And well, there were 10 goals that I missed out on the other night because I swapped for this. I thought this would be a more engaging game, and it's not been. It's been very one-sided, but you can't help but be impressed. Wow. I'm sure Bayern Munich were impressed. Esposito now comes on. Lukaku has done enough. He doesn't need a hat-trick ball or anything. He needs a bit of rest now, doesn't he? But anyhow, yeah, that's incredible stuff, really. And at 5-0, well, you'd think they'd be satisfied, but when you get good teams like this and they scent blood, they just don't stop, do they? And 5-0. Didn't leave much to talk about, really. And from Shakhtar's point of view, I don't know. I don't know what you say. Their fans will be devastated, won't they? And the other point about that goal was that it was Lukaku on his right foot. I said he's just for standing on that, and again he's right to hit it with his right foot, coming bearing down on goal from the inside right. You know, it's the proper angle for him to hit that, and he just shows that it's not just for standing on after all. I mean, he prefers thumping it with his left, doesn't he? But which he did for the goal he scored 8 minutes before that. Here's another chance for Inter. Into the box they go. And the ball's hit into the side netting this time. And Esposito should have scored there, really. Well, he may not be in the team next time. But for Sebastiano Esposito, that was a gilt-edged opportunity. Well, they're 18-year-old. Took it into the box. Shrugged off Kvitsov, and then piles it wide. Now he shows his all right foot there. Needed just to chip it over the keeper, but instead he drove it wide and into the side netting. Italian under-19 striker Sebastiano Esposito. Ericsson now on the ball, and again Shakhtar having to chase all back. They don't want another goal to go in. I dare say that this is Shakhtar's worst or biggest drubbing in Europe. I'm not entirely certain about that, but yeah, they've been taken to the cleaners, and yeah, they tend to be good, don't they? Try to far, I can't find sort of year upon year best or worst result, but in a semi-final, it's certainly not what they've wanted. No, inexplicable. I think they'd be beaten 5-1 in Barcelona in a quarter-final of the Champions League. But 5-0 might be a new experience for them. Anyhow, into 5, Shakhtar 0, and we're really marking time out. I might as well. I could believe in when I came here, it was like being on a log flume on the motorway. Hopefully things have dried out a little bit. Been raining goals in Dusseldorf though. Into 5-0. We're looking at that Lukaku strike right through the legs of Andrei Piatov. And goals have regularly punctuated this game. Two for each striker, Martinez and Lukaku, and Danilo D'Ambrosio with the other, with a good header. There's only 1-0 at the break though. I've got to say, that withstanding, 1-0 at the break, must have been tight that first half, but it wasn't really. Shakhtar didn't have a shot on target. They've only had one effort on target in the game, which was a fairly tame header from Junior Moraes. Here's Moses now at the edge of the area. Ball into the box. Esposito runs into Kokolava, who takes the ball off him. Weirdly enough, I think he's played all right tonight, despite the fact he was outpaced for that 5th goal. But I just think his heart not in it really. As we close down on the 90 minutes. And Shakhtar would want to forget this in a hurry. And Inter have got to put it away, don't they? Because it doesn't matter. They're in the final, and that's what the focus will be on for them. As Ericsson takes a corner kick, there's a header, and well, was that over the line? I don't know. A good header from Gagliardini, at least it looks so. I don't know what happened there, if the ball went out before it came back in from the corner. But anyway, play's come to a halt. Might have been the shove in the back from Gagliardini there. Spotted by the referee and his assistants. Funny time to be fouling when you're 5-0 up. Anyhow, Piatov takes the resulting free kick. Referee decides that they don't want to see any more. They could have played added time there, but it hardly got to 90. It didn't matter. Luis Castro's pitmen have run their race in the Europa League this season. They were great last time out, weren't they? They scored 5 against Basel, but they know how it feels like to be beaten by 5 tonight, and no consolation for them. And it's Antonio Conte's men going to Friday's final against Sevilla. They'll be feeling good. They need to rest up. Sevilla have got one more night or day, if you like, to prepare themselves. But that was ever so impressive. 5-0. 2 goals Lukaku, 2 for Lautaro Martinez, 1 for D'Ambrosio. Into 5, Shakhtar 0. Thanks for joining us.